a resolution in solidarity with Chapel Hill's LGBTQ+ community. Whereas Chapel Hill has a proud history of advancing the rights of LGBTQIA+ people, including being one of several local governments to oppose the General Assembly's discriminatory Senate Bill 2 in 2015, being the first to call for repeal of the Discriminatory Public Facilities Privacy and Security Act in 2016, and being among the first, with the towns of Hillsborough and Carrboro and Orange County, to adopt an ordinance prohibiting discrimination in public accommodations and employment based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression in 2021. And
whereas hate crimes targeting LGBTQIA+ or lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people have increased over every year for the past 4 years. And whereas there were at least 34 trans and gender nonconforming people killed in the U.S. in 2022. And
whereas members of the LGBTQIA+ community currently experience the highest per capita rate of hate-motivated violence of any marginalized group in the U.S., and whereas mass shootings by domestic terrorists at LGBTQIA+ gathering spaces, such as Club Q and Pulse, have created fear and trauma in LGBTQIA+ communities across the country, and
I'm going to take this one. Okay. Whereas protests and demonstrations targeting drag shows and drag performers have increased dramatically over the last several years, with such protests being held in several locations in North Carolina. And whereas there's been a sharp increase in anti-LGBTQ+ legislation across the country, with 233 anti-LGBTQIA+ bills filed in state legislatures across the country in January alone of this year.
Whereas a copycat version of Florida's Do Not Say Gay bill has been filed in the North Carolina Senate this session, SB 49, which would prohibit discussion of LGBTQ plus identity in most elementary schools, classrooms, and forcibly out LGBTQIA+ students to their parents. And whereas a bill has been filed in the North Carolina House this session, HB 43, that would prohibit gender-affirming care, including hormones, puberty blockers, and gender-affirming surgery for people under 18, and
whereas access to safe spaces at school and gender-affirming health care is critical for the mental and physical health of LGBTQIA+ people and teens in particular, who are 4 times more likely to consider suicide than their heterosexual peers. And whereas the town of Chapel Hill is committed to fostering an environment that values intersectional visibility and support for our LGBTQIA+ artists, youth, staff, and community members and others. We recognize their remarkable bravery and authenticity while also affirming the gender identity and gender expression of our LGBTQIA+ district and community members. And
now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Town of Chapel Hill that the Town of Chapel Hill affirms the full civil and human rights of our LGBTQIA+ community members. Be it further resolved that we condemn all violence and hatred against LGBTQIA+ people, LGBTQIA+ spaces, and LGBTQIA+ events.
And be it further resolved that we stand in opposition to House Bill 43, to Senate Bill 49, and we mean all, legislation that erodes the safety, health, civil rights, and/or bodily autonomy of LGBTQIA+ people, including minors. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is directed to send a copy of this resolution to our North Carolina General Assembly delegation and the leadership of both chambers.
Thank you. Can I have take a vote? All those in favor of our resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is unanimous. Thank you all for your participation in this, and thank you to Matt DeBellis and Jeannie Brown for helping pull this together. We want to stand firm and state our values.